So India was officially added to Australia's work and holiday visa program on the 16th of September 2024. It is a part of a bilateral trade agreement between India and Australia. And the good news is you can study up to 4 months on this visa as well. And from 1st of October 2024, the registration for a ballot process is open. This ballot process gives you a possibility to be randomly selected to apply for this work and holiday visa. So in this video, we will give you an overview of this program, and we will also share a link with you that if you are eligible to apply, you can go and apply directly from that link. So without wasting much time, let's get into the video. Now, before we get started with other things, here is a quick disclaimer. The information provided in this video is general in nature, and it does not constitute any legal or migration advice. I'm not a migration agent, so I can't advise you on your migration related queries. The information I'm going to give you in this video is publicly available on the Department of Home Affairs website. You should definitely do your own research on this information after watching this video. We'll try to make it easier by giving you a quick summary of the things here. But if you have a specific question regarding your own situation, I highly recommend you to speak to a registered migration agent for that. Now that being done, let's get into the video. So first thing first, what is this visa? So work and holiday visa subclass 462 allows you to short-term work and travel in Australia. Most of you can guess from the name itself that this visa is designed to help you to travel and to do some part-time work to cover those costs for your travel in Australia. Now the duration of this visa is 12 months, and as I mentioned earlier, you can study up to 4 months, which is around 17 weeks on this visa as well. You can travel in and out of Australia multiple times during the duration of this visa. For Indian nationals, there will be only 1,000 slots available per year. Now in terms of the cost, it will cost 650 Australian dollars to apply for this visa. But before you apply for this visa, there is a ballot process that I mentioned earlier, and there is a cost attached to that as well, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. As I mentioned, the registration have opened for the ballot process on the 1st of October, and it will close on the 31st of October 2024. Now let's look at some of the eligibility requirements to apply for this visa. Here are some key requirements in order to apply for this visa. The first one is you must have a valid passport. You must be between the age of 18 to 30 at the time of application. You must have completed at least 2 years of post-secondary study, which could be like a diploma after your year 12, or maybe you are completing your undergraduate degree, but you must have already completed at least 2 years of that. You must have a functional English, which is an overall score of 4.5 in IELTS test, or 30 in PTE, or 32 in TOEFL, and also enough money to support your initial stay in Australia, which is generally 5,000 Australian dollars, and also enough money to buy a ticket to return back home. And you will also have to meet Australian government's health and character requirements. There are a few other general requirements that you need to meet in order to apply for this visa. We will leave a link of that with more information in the description box below. But these were some of the key criteria in order to apply for this visa. It will give you an idea whether you are eligible to apply for this visa or not. Now in terms of how to apply for it, as I mentioned earlier, there is a ballot process in place that you will need to register for it, and then the process will start from there. So the step one will be to start with the ballot registration. So here is the criteria for applying for this ballot. You need to create an IME account if you already haven't done so. You need to be between the age of 18 to 30 when you're registering. Hold a valid passport. Hold a valid national identity card like PAN card for Indian passport holders. Have a valid email address. You need to verify your email address as well. You need to agree to the registration form's declaration, and also have to pay the registration fee, which is 25 Australian dollars. The fee you need to pay at the time of registration for this ballot. You don't need to pay $650 at that moment. To pay for that much amount, you need to be selected to apply for that visa. And that's where the next step is, which is a ballot draw, which means from all the applications that the Department of Home Affairs in Australia receives, only 1,000 applicants will be selected randomly from that. Now the selection period will start from the 14th of October 2024 and will end on 30th of April 2025 for this year. Now for the next step, if you are successful in the draw, what happens then? If you are successful, you will be notified via email with the notification of selection, which means you have been selected for this visa. and you can come and apply for this visa within 28 days. Now just keep in mind that successful draw does not automatically mean that you will get this visa. You will be still required to meet all the eligibility requirements for this visa, even though if you were successful in the ballot. As I mentioned earlier, you will need to apply within 28 days of this invitation. Now in case if you are unsuccessful, what happens then? So there will be no notification sent regarding unsuccessful applications, and obviously you won't be able to apply for the visa this year. But if you still meet the eligibility requirements, you could try again in the following years as well. Again, all this information that I have mentioned earlier is from the Department of Home Affairs website. We will leave a link of all those plus a link for direct application in the description box below. But just before we end this video, here is a word of caution for everyone. As you can expect, there will be plenty of people who will be keen to apply for this visa. There will also be plenty of people who will try to scam you for this thing as well. So be careful when someone's asking for payments and the email notifications you get. Make sure to always check that the email is coming from official sources. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't need to pay $650 until you actually get selected. Most of the people who think they are eligible can register for this ballot by themselves online. But if you're unsure about how to apply for this, then I highly recommend you to speak to a registered migration agent for that. Again, all the sources of information is in the description box below, including that link we mentioned earlier where you can go and apply directly for this registration. And if you're new to this channel, we got plenty of resources, not only this channel, but on our website and our social media pages as well. Please go ahead and check them out. And if you want more information, then I highly recommend you to check these playlists that are appearing on the screen right now, where you can learn more about living and working in Australia as well. We covered plenty of information in our previous videos about it, so make sure to check them as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel as well and turn on the notification bell in order to get all the updates like this one in the future. And see you in the next video.